Hello, and welcome to my podcast, The Melancholy Guy Talks. And right now, I'm talking about recovery, living with addiction. In this podcast, I'm sharing my journey through life while being an open, polyamorous African American male living in recovery. I am the Melancholy Guy, Calvin, or CPJR if you know me. And today, I definitely believe that change I must or die I will. To learn more about the Melancholy Guy, go to Instagram and click the link in the bio. Also, with a donation of just $1, you can have access to my first series on ethical non-monogamy, the fun stuff that started it all. The fun stuff that started my podcast journey. See my Patreon page for more info. Links in the show notes and in the Instagram bio. So let's talk. Today is April 19th, 2020. And it's been 91 days since I felt the need, 92 days since I felt the need to pick up my drug of choice. Today's episode is The Pink Cloud, Moments of Peace, episode 55. The show will consist of 3 segments: the weekly check-in, the discussion topic, and Ask an Addict question of the week. This is the format that I experienced the many times I was in intensive outpatient treatment. So it seems appropriate now as this show is truly an integral part of my recovery process. Welcome or welcome back to my little space on the internet where I get to share about my journey through recovery. And believe it or not, today is a very special day. It just happens to be my birthday, April 19th, 1966. It's the day that I was born, and this is also the 92nd day of my recovery at this point, and it's been an interesting road. So on with the podcast. I'm gonna check in since last week. I've been doing pretty well. Been on my job for like 3 months, and this is the format. I would say the format of outpatient. When I say that this is the format of inpatient. Intensive outpatient treatment. Usually, when I used to go to intensive outpatient treatment, I've been through that process about, I don't know, 3 or 4 times. I went to a place in D.C. called Colmac, and I was there for like at least 3 times. I went through that program, and basically you would sit around with a bunch of other addicts, and we would all just check in, usually with the counselor or the facilitator there. And then we would all talk about how our week has been since the last time, or how our day has actually been since the last time we were there. So for me, since I'm still in recovery, 92 days, I can officially say that I'm in recovery now, because that's my little guideline to say that I'm in recovery. So since the last time I recorded was last Sunday, and this show is now longer than 15 minutes. It's been great. I made it through my first pay period since going back to work, which is a big deal for me. Didn't went through, did what I was supposed to do. No recovery, no cravings, no triggers. Just had a really great weekend for my birthday. Hung out with my partner, girlfriend Kim, and just really enjoyed the weekend as much as I could under this quarantine that we're in. And it was really like I could say, it's like I want to say like a surreal event for me, just based on where I was in my use and addiction. It was kind of strange going back to the grocery store and actually shopping, with my own money again, and just not being a slave to an addiction. So it was like getting used to it after not really like giving up, but like not just experiencing it for like, I think this last period I was pretty much just in the throes of addiction for like 6 months, where all I did was pretty much just work, and then all the money that I made went towards, most of the money that I made went towards supporting my habit or addiction. And to be where I am now, it's been like like almost surreal, but really gratifying. To just be able to do just the simple thing of going to the store and buying groceries and coming home and cooking and couldn't go out to eat, but got to order some delicious food from a restaurant that I haven't been to, and just to really get the joy and enjoy the time. So I could say that this week of my recovery has been really good, and that's gonna bring me to the subject that I want to talk about this week. I want to talk about the danger of where I am right now, because so here's the thing that I want to talk about. The discussion topic of this week is how even now as an addict, or as an addict in recovery, it seems like I'm okay. You know what I'm saying? It starts to feel like I'm in a place of like I'm really doing great, and all I want to do, the word that keeps coming to my head is Selah. I don't know, people who are Christian will recognize that from, like, I don't know, it was the Psalms or Proverbs. I just remember Selah. We just like rest and just like meditate or just stop on how good something is, and that's how I've been feeling. I've been feeling like really great, and everything that just seeing things on Facebook, people wishing me happy birthday, and on social media and things. Like, even in the midst of this COVID, it feels good. Um, and there's actually a term for that, and that's what I'm going to talk about this week for the discussion topic. And the term for that is called the pink cloud. I'm going to read specifically what it is. And the reason that I'm going to read that is because I'm definitely in that. Like, I was reading about how I'm now, I guess, in early recovery. I went through the first 90 days. I didn't use, I didn't relapse. Well, I didn't use, I didn't relapse. I didn't even come close to using or relapsing. I pretty much just did what I had to do every day. Kept myself focused and kept, uh, stating my intentions loudly and proudly, and just kept pressing forward. And then here I am. Been on my job for like 3 weeks now, and really enjoying it, even though I haven't actually been to the office yet, working online virtually. But I'm in like this pink cloud, like everything looks great. And that's a danger sign for me, because, like I've been saying, in this on this podcast over and over again, I've been saying, like, it's a danger sign. Like, everything's a danger sign. Like, I've been here before. I felt great before. I felt like, I got this thing. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to read about, real quickly, I want to read about what the pink cloud is. And then I'm just going to talk about why it's a danger. A new life, what is the pink cloud? And I got this off the internet somewhere. Um, a new lifestyle A new lifestyle sobriety is refreshing, which can result in a natural high during the early days and weeks of sobriety. People sometimes call this the pink cloud. The pink cloud is a term that originated in AA, and although the term is not used in the big book, it is something that most recovering and alcoholics are aware of. It is a phrase that's used to um, describe feelings of elation and euphoria in early sobriety. And you would think that feeling good is a good thing, but the problem with feeling good is that it comes with, for me, like not working a program, it comes with some dangers. And then here's the signs of I could be headed to bad, for bad times. And some of the signs are arrogance, which I can be very arrogant. I've experienced this before. You know what I'm saying? Arrogance, denial, euphoria, impulsiveness, independence, overconfidence, unrealistic expectation, and unrealistic commitments. Every one of those I fight almost daily, and here's a time that usually in the past I would just trip up because basically if I'm feeling like I'm okay, like I went today, went to the grocery store with Sam's Club, bought a bunch of food, bought a bunch of things, and I'm like, I got this. Let me go ahead and do XYZ PDQ and hit the, and then it's even that I'm feeling like, maybe I could have a glass of wine, maybe I could have a drink, and just to really start to enjoy, my birthday and celebrate my birthday the ways that I usually do. And then one of the things that I bought at the store today is I went and bought like ginger beer, which is like a beverage. It's not a real beer, it's not an alcoholic drink. But I used to drink that with vodka and call it, like a Moscow Mule type drink. And that I walk around with that in a big cup. And basically nobody knew I was like getting lit all day. And and that feeling, I mean, even having the feeling of not actually wanting to do that is scary to me because it's like, what's next? You know what I mean? So like feeling good and kind of like heading in the right direction as far as my relationship goes. Um, I'll actually be moving soon too. I'll talk about that coming up in the upcoming episode. But the job wise and just really getting ready to move. It's like very cautious of just like messing up and am I doing this? You know what I'm saying? It's like relying on your higher power. It's like working the steps and relying on not my own understanding because like, a lot of times when I'm dealing with Kim on an everyday basis, and a lot of times I'm just talking to her, I gotta stop and just say like I don't know what's happening or and luckily I have a good partner who's able to kind of let me emote and go through the emotions that I'm going through and doesn't have a quick reaction to any type of um, well, let me say this. She does have a quick reaction to me being negative, but that's on me because I think I am kind of too negative, and that goes to some of my problems with my addiction. But I'm able to work through any type of situation that comes up. You know what I'm saying? Like any type of decision that may arise where I think that I need to do something um, crazy. I need to go buy a new pair of shoes. I need to go to the store by myself or something like that. I could talk to her and talk through it before making a decision to do it because I've been through like this before. And like the one thing that I don't want to do is go. I specifically don't want to repeat nothing, almost nothing that I've been through in my life. You know what I mean? Like I can look like I talk to like I used to think that I had all these great stories, but really those wasn't great stories. This is like a lot of great tragedies, and I thought they were fun. Some of them were funny. I did have some fun, but then I was just drunk most of the time. You know what I'm saying? So I have to like try to live now as if I'm new to it. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like, here I am on my birthday, and I'm stone cold sober. Doing a podcast after work in the morning. My girlfriend's here, getting her hair braided, and everything's like peaceful. That's normal, right? That's not my life. Like my life hasn't really been normal like that in so long. That just having this time of peacefulness and a lot of times say grace, it's like um, I have to get used to it and adjust to it and not try to and not think something's wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Like actually be able to sit peacefully and enjoy it and not think that something is wrong with that. And still even still understand that I am still an addict no matter what. That I'm still, my mind is still, in a it could flip the like I said the switch could flip any second and I can be off to the races. But like I said, I put things in place where I can't do that. But it's there. Um, and it's like I have some people around me that I have to even watch out for. I don't really know where they're at. Um, it's important to it's important for me to have people around me that kind of like get their get what the addiction is and get what recovery is and get that you know like I'm not trying to use anybody. I could care you know less or give I can give a flying fuck if anybody wants to be in my life or don't want to be in my life at this point, because my life is good and I kind of am enjoying the people that are here. But I still have to be careful of people that are around me that don't want to do me good. That don't, not. I don't think maybe it's not through fault of their own, but just they say the thing about misery loves company. And I know I might be rambling, because I'm working some things out. Because I'm working some things out because I'm getting ready to make a major move in my life, and I know that I know that I'm ready for it. You know what I'm saying? I know that I'm ready for it, and I know that it's time for it. And however it's gonna work out, it's not based on like hubris. It's not based on any type of momentum. It's just based on me setting intentions and knowing that that's where I'm supposed to be at. And anybody that's outside looking in may look at it like, oh, I'm just riding coattails or just taking an opportunity that's come up. But this has been actually like in the works for like years. You know what I'm saying? Like I could say for 5 years, really like pretty much like the first um since like the first year of my divorce that I've been building this relationship or trying to build my life. Well, I've been trying to get ready for this relationship, and here I am. You know what I'm saying? So I don't I don't want to like um take anything for granted. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to get to the point where I feel so good that I start taking stuff for granted. You know what I'm saying? I think over the weekend, Kim, I was talking to her over the weekend on Friday, and I was like, I think it was Thursday night, and I was saying, tomorrow's payday and everything. She said, "What's the worst thing that could happen?" I said, "Well, the worst thing that could happen wouldn't be me just taking the money and spending it on going to get high. The worst thing could happen for me is that I would cause an issue and destroy our relationship to go and get high. That's the worst thing that can happen to me. The worst thing that can happen to me is that I've seen how when out of nowhere I would just start having issues and problems with someone and just start tearing them down or tearing myself down or just having some kind of issue just so I can get out the house, you know what I'm saying? Or so that I can get control or feel the need that I need to take control of. And that's the thing I was saying, like independence, impulsiveness. That's just like because if I got this, you know what I'm saying. I've been doing this. What I'm saying, I went out and got this job. I went out and earned this money. I got it now, and that's the scary thing about um, being in that what we call that pink cloud. Um, and it's something that you know it's nice feeling good. You know what I'm saying? It is. It's nice feeling good, but it's for me. It's not about feeling good because I can roll pretty much all down a natural high of just being grateful. But for me, it's all about just being centered. Being centered is more, and I say that like if anybody talk to me these days, though, I'm always talking about I need to get centered. I need to just take a minute to be centered because I feel like I'm off. Because I need to always, as working as someone who has to work a program, an addict, a recovering addict, a non-active addict. I always have to come back to center. You know what I'm saying? If I'm getting too happy or I'm getting too sad, I gotta figure out what's going on in my life that's trying to take me off course. Because me off course is just not it's not a good thing. So no matter how good or wonderful I think things are, reality is right there, ready to come knock on my door and wake me up at any minute. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like it's nice to be in the clouds, but it's also for me I have to understand that it's just another day. You know what I'm saying? It's just another day. Um, people ask me like, what do I want to do tomorrow, next day plan? I'm like, you know what? I just have to take it one day at a time. You know what I'm saying? I just gotta say, it's hard for me to think past, you know, when COVID, when this pandemic's over and all this kind of stuff, and what I'm gonna do. It's just another day for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I have to make it through today, tonight, tomorrow, and I have to keep that as my focus, or I'm gonna lose it all. And I'm gonna close that out right there. That's the pink cloud. And next week, I think I'm gonna flip it on next week, and I'm gonna have another topic for discussion next week. It's kind of like the opposite of the pink cloud. If you're an addict and you're coming through recovering and you're not working the program, there's something else that's even worse. I think it's worse for me than the pink cloud. I kind of know people that are living that way right now, and kind of sucks. But if working a program is great. So I'm gonna go to my last part, and that's usually the discussion. That's exactly how it usually goes. And then if I was in treatment right now, we would be discussing that topic and how everyone will feel about that. And right now, I'm gonna go to the last part. I post a question on Instagram. I never get a response, but I'm gonna keep posting that question on Instagram. So hopefully, because I know that people that are dealing with addictions, and I know that I'm not the only one that knows someone and wants to ask a question, or this isn't. I guess for me, I'm just trying to break the stigma. For me, breaking the stigma of addiction is like it's like a must. You know what I mean? Like I had to do it because I have to live my life 100% authentic, or as authentic as possible, or there's something that we usually say we're as sick as our secrets. So anyway, I'm gonna go to the last part. I'm gonna have instead of I don't have a question. No one asked me a question, but I have questions, or I'm part of groups on Facebook and stuff like that. And I may have answered this question before, but I like it, so I'm gonna go ahead and use that question again. So basically, the question was asked to one of the groups that I am a part of on Facebook. The question was, why is loving an addict so hard? Um, I guess this person was someone who loved an addict, and I could say, as someone who has, I'm an addict, so I can answer from the many. I could answer from the aspect of the many relationships that I've ruined, the many people that I've hurt, unintentionally, sometimes intentionally. But and then now, when I get that question on Facebook, I say that, and I just say specifically, you cannot build a relationship with an active addict. Period. There's nothing. I have had, I have had so many good intentions while being an active addict, as far as relationships goes, that they aren't worth anything. Um, they aren't worth the paper out, the email, the electricity I use for the emails, or the notes that I've written, the promises that I've given, they aren't worth anything. Because someone who is in an active addiction has no control over their life. It's the first step. Um, um, I can't remember the first step, but I know my life is unmanageable. I'm powerless over this addiction, and my life is unmanageable. There's no way that someone who has gotten high within the last 90 days can say to you that they will not do it again. There's even within the last 90 days, there's somebody who's like working a program. Here's the thing, right? I won't say that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Only thing that I promised my partner, Kimberly, is that I told her I would never leave. Right? I didn't say that I would never use again. I told her that I would never leave, and that's the reason. And that's even a stretch for me to promise her that. But I, 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 I told her that because I'm definitely in it for the fight, and I know where I'm at right now. But never use again. That's every day. That's an everyday thing. As long as I'm working a program, I can say that. And then if the relapse happens, she'll know it's coming, and I'll know it's coming long before it happens. Long before it happens. And I've been saying on this podcast, if I miss a Sunday, I'm only doing one show a week now. If I miss a Sunday, chances are, the relapse has happened or it's coming. So it's like it's hard to love someone who can't control themselves, and it's hard to love someone who I can't say they don't love themselves, and I can't say they love the drug, but basically their mind, their brain is actually that's their first love. You know what I'm saying? Um, my drug of choice was crack cocaine, and that was um, I hate it, and I hated it, but when I'm triggered or I'm tempted, I can't think of anything else. Um, so it wasn't a matter of me not you know not wanting to love anyone and not wanting not wanting to hurt them. Is that I was under the throes my of my addiction, and then therefore I could not make any commitments, although I tried many times to make commitments, and it's impossible. So it's here it is. It's hard to rely or try to build a life with an addict. You know what I'm saying? You can love anyone from afar. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love you. I can love you, but I can't have you in my life every day. You know what I'm saying? I could pray for you. I could, be a shoulder to cry on, but I can't give you any money. I can't. This is me. If somebody came to me as an active addict now, I can't give you no money. I'm broke. I'm sorry. I can't do it. Um, I could possibly pay a bill for you, something like that, but I can't give you any money because I already know what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? And if I love you, I'm not gonna give you something to hurt you. You do what I'm saying? If I love you, I'm not gonna try to build a life with you, and knowing that you can't. You know what I'm saying? That you can't. And a lot of this stuff that I've experienced that I thought was love, I know now was just codependency. And if a lot of that was codependency, a lot of that was immaturity, and a lot of that was doomed to fail. So you just can't love an active addict. I mean, there's no. And I always say that. I always say that if, and I always say like, in the groups, I always say that you can't love an active addict. I'm sorry. I don't know if you can get out. Get out. Period. There's nothing else. There's no other advice I can give you, because it's all got to set boundaries. because it's impossible to build a life. Every time I thought I was building a life with someone and I was an addict, it always fell apart. You know what I'm saying? And the only way, that I think that I'm, building something now with someone is because I'm in recovery. I'm working a program, and I was doing that anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like my relationship now with anyone in my life is not conditional. It's not based on me staying clean. You know what I'm saying? It's not based on me doing something for them to support us. It's not a codependent relationship. You get what I'm saying? It's two independent people that come together to live a life. You know what I mean? Of course, different people have different strengths in different areas in all relationships. But this relationship, I'm still quite capable and quite willing to release anyone from life that needs to be released. But I'm also willing to say that if I know that I'm getting ready to relapse or use, I'm gonna tell you to get the fuck away from me right now, because I don't want you to go through that shit. So I'm not trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not. If I ever think that I'm getting ready to use, I'm gonna tell you to get the fuck out of my life. That's how much I'm gonna love you. You get the hell of it from me, because you know hell's getting ready to be unleashed, and I don't want to be. I don't want to be the cause of pain to anyone else ever again in life in that area. Okay. You don't know how great it's been to sit here and not have to worry about time and be able to close this show out. So I'm gonna leave it there for today. And of course, I know I have to leave time for this the still suffering addict out there, who may be listening to this show. Maybe no one's listening to this show, but it's great for me. This is part of my recovery. This is my chance to sit down and talk about um, my addiction. So, you know, you could get help. Anybody could, get help. I don't care what it is you're addicted to, what substance. You could basically do it one day at a time. And maybe I'll answer a question about that. I think one question I saw was, how can I stop drinking? You just gotta stop, and then seek help. You have to know that your life is fucked up, and then you gotta unwanna fuck your life. You gotta wanna unfuck your life, and basically, if you can admit that your life is fucked up, and that's the point, though. That's the whole point. You have to really, really, really believe that your life is fucked up, and then you just want to unfuck it. And then once you get to that point, then you'll do anything anyone tells you. You'll follow anyone's instructions. That's trying to tell you some good stuff to get to a place where you don't have to use one day at a time. You know what I mean? If I ever thought, I don't remember a birthday. Last year for my birthday, I know I was out using, but I don't remember a birthday ever for a long time that I was sober and I didn't have to be. You know what I mean? Like today, I didn't have to be sober. It was definitely a choice, and I'm grateful for it. So you don't have to use one day at a time. It's up to you to decide. And if you have a question, if you have any questions about living with recovery or just need someone to talk to, you can always drop me an email, cpiercejr@gmail.com. I will respond. If you want me to answer a question on the show, I will do that. Check me out on social media, IG. So I'm going to leave it there. Always remember to love and respect yourself first, and everything else will take care of itself. Peace and namaste.